Hey now, it's finally time for me to finish this movie. It's Star Trek: The Motion Picture. This is the last card I have. Oh, it's not the last card. It's the last group of cards. But this is the end of the movie. So Illia and Decker have become part of the ether, I suppose, and we never see him again. And I hope we never see him again because they're out there doing their ether thing in the world. Sure. Uh, and we saw the beginning of a new life form. And yes, Captain, possibly a next step in our evolution, which is a nice beat because that's a beat you see throughout a lot of Roddenberry era Trek. You see it a bit at the end of Babylon 5 as well. To evolve beyond what we are, the next step is to just become the ether, I suppose. Just go out there and expand across the universe. That's a big theme in Trek. That's one that can't be ignored. That's what Trek is. Good, bad, right or wrong or otherwise. That's what's going on, and that's why TMP works, even though it seems so boring to people. Because looking out to the horizon is kind of boring. It's optimistic, but it's not a drama. It's not giving you Wrath of Khan drama and revenge and all those classic human characteristics that make an action movie. The motion picture is not an action movie. It's a immersive movie about discovery that's trying to be 2001, but it can't because it's Star Trek, so it's working within its own confines, and it's not an art movie. It's a movie. It's a big budget Hollywood movie, but it's not an action movie, and I understand why it's kind of boring for folks, but still, I think it's a fine movie. So here's the card again from '94. There's the ship doing its thing. I don't remember. Oh yeah. I think we gave it the ability to create its own sense of purpose. That's not too heavy-handed a line. It's TMP is trying to be a philosophical movie. There's the scene with Spock in the sick bay. That's all Vulcan. That's essential. So when you want to look at Trek as philosophy and serious now, as a lot of those beats are in this movie, and it could be Roddenberry, although he was in and out of production. His influences, the fingerprints are all here, right? The fingerprints of that decade of syndication where TOS as just an action adventure Horatio Hornblower show um, becomes something more. Roddenberry goes to college campuses. People are looking into what Trek could be. Roddenberry's soaking it up. Maybe from his point of view, okay, and then you begin to believe a lot of what you're hearing, and even if you think it's a lot of BS, which a few folks who've worked with Roddenberry did, John Paulville comes to mind, who put a lot of this early stuff together. Even so, if you think it's nonsense, so many elements are here that shows it in work. That's what I like about this movie. Just as if you need the essential, and there are a few next gen episodes, early seasons that touch on these beats as well. But if you want the essential, what is the human adventure? That's what we're going for in this movie. They are listed as missing, and I hope they remain so. We don't need them back in any callback Trek. And so there we go. See, the human adventure. That is the theme of this movie. That is what it's all about. That's why we watch her. Okay, so there it is. The human adventure continues outside of this movie. We have a little light show here. That's the end of the original TMP warp effect right there. And we're all off. We're gonna give the ship the shakedown. Spock's done with Vulcan apparently. Chief DeFalco asks where we're going, and it's just out there that away. Thataway. We see this beat come back in Undiscovered Country, where we do the Peter Pan line. But for right now, that's it. That's the human adventure. That's how it begins. That's how it never finishes. Because we take the turn in Wrath of Khan. It's not a bad. I'm gonna do Wrath of Khan cards next. They're coming. But here we are. This is the final card. Well, it's not. I keep saying it's a final card. It's a final card about a scene of the final scene of the movie. That's where we're at. That's where I'm gonna stop. I have some extra cards that I'm gonna do in just a minute, and I found one. I know I have more, but I did find one trivia card. So we're gonna do some TMP trivia, and I'll milk this turnip. That's not how it goes, is it? But there we go. I need to talk more on the show and get my thoughts in order and all those fun things. So there we go. Enjoy.